I mean, like, you've built houses from the ground up. You've staffed 35 people. Like, the amount of people, like you've created your own little economy. And, in crypto, you hear a lot of people like, trying to make money, yada, yada, yada. And then you just, like, anything you make, pushing it back in. I just told Tony, like, it's, I don't know what to say. There's so much more. When I say that, usually these are fuzzy words, but, you have so many tangible ways of doing this. But what I like the most, what you said, and that resonates a lot with me, and I think it resonates a lot with it would resonate with Scroll, is that you can't help someone who doesn't want to help themselves, and the discipline back. And I think that that's important for respect and to honor and appreciate the program.
So the students actually makes Web3Bridge successful. One of the reasons why we put all our effort in it is because for everyone that's successful and they go out, they bear a touch of Web3Bridge. Hello guys, welcome to Web3Bridge. So it's nice to have you guys here, Sandy and Azar. Has it been?
Yeah, it's been great.
Welcome to Web3Bridge again.
Love it. It's been really interesting.
I'm super impressed with everything you built.
Thank you very much. What so far has got it for you?
I mean, like, you've built houses from the ground up. You've staffed 35 people. Like, the amount of people, like you've created your own little economy. And, in crypto, you hear a lot of people like, trying to make money, yada, yada, yada. And then you just, like, anything you make, pushing it back in. I just told Tony, like, it's, I don't know what to say.
Ooh. Thanks for that. Actually, then what's the plan for the trip? Like the plan coming to Africa? Like what's the focus?
Yeah, I think like one of our co-founders, Ye, came to Africa like almost 2 years ago with the L2 trip that Yosef organized, and I think he came back with raving stories about how great everyone is and how much energy there is. I feel like we want to come back again to get to know the ecosystem a little bit better, get to know the people building here a little bit better, and foster a way to kind of continuously build these relationships and see how we can be more like deeply integrated and connected. And I think the only way to do that is to discover and also kind of see how we can support sustainable businesses. So it's not just like a one-off or a very shallow touch point. And so part of this trip is all about kind of discovery and learning and listening. And so kind of being here is pretty insightful. And thanks for sharing all of your experiences kind of building Web3Bridge. I think like Raza said, it's like super inspiring. And I think it's kind of like just kind of learning about what success means in your mind, and then also kind of just being here kind of meeting a lot of the students, and I know a lot of them are going down different paths after Web3Bridge, and just kind of learning a bit more about what that growth path looks like is kind of the high level goals.
Yeah, that sounds good. I think I'm actually more interested in the student. Like I was having a conversation with somebody, I was like, so the student actually makes Web3 successful. One of the reasons why we put all our effort in it is because for everyone that's successful and they go out, they bear a touch of Web3Bridge. Like they are proud to say they're from Web3Bridge, and we always want to give our best to them, because it's also always not easy to like have people grown up adults in 16 weeks, everybody wants to beat themselves and all. But then if we go, we have to conform them to our will. Maybe we sometimes use the ad way, but then also ensure that they are learning and they are enjoying it.
I think it's important to be disciplined, and I can feel that in the way you designed the program. As a matter of fact, I would say most programs that are out there for support, for like whether that's a hackathon or a program, they don't follow this regimen, and it's something actually that successful entrepreneurs have taught me. That any program I've actually been impressed by. And honestly, I didn't have the privilege to be here before that time and then actually experience. You're saying the same thing that I've, like successful startup schools, successful like startup programs, said exactly what you're saying throughout this message, and that's being disciplined. You told me about the first 6 weeks. And you can't help someone who doesn't want to help themselves.
Agreed.
And what you're doing is already so much as providing a platform. You're providing the infrastructure, you provide the education. There's so much more. When I say that, usually these are fuzzy words, but you have so many tangible ways of doing this. But what I like the most, what you said, and that resonates a lot with me, and I think it resonates a lot with it would resonate with Scroll, is that you can't help someone who doesn't want to help themselves in the discipline, and I think that that's important for respect and to honor and appreciate the program.
Yeah, I mean, I want to kind of, we're just kind of in awe being immersed in Web3Bridge experience, but I want to kind of go back to the start, like what made you want to start this program, and what was like the catalyst?
Oh, okay. So I came into the ecosystem in 2017. I have a background in hospitality management and education. So when I came in, I came chasing airdrop. Like I've always said that, like I just came looking for airdrop. I wanted some money. I had a baby. I wanted to able to afford to buy diaper and all. But then at some point in 2018, I discovered it's just more than that. Like I've chased airdrop a while, and I feel like this year I can actually do a lot. So 2017 December, I learned how to use Twitter for the first time. So I got my first job on Twitter, second on Twitter. And I keep entering community to manage and moderate, and I feel like there's an educational gap. Like a lot of people who come into the ecosystem don't understand what Web3 is and all. So I keep shouting about. I think if I go back my tweet in 2018, I spoke about education like 20 times. I can't do this without education. Anytime we talk about adoption, education is missing and all of those things. And I work with this group, with this project Hydro. We launched a project that crashed at night. So we launched. So everyone had to have a particular amount of airdrop on their wallet. So it's like a custodial wallet. A wallet that I've forgotten. It's a gasless wallet where we pay the gas. Like in 2018 actually. That was when and I was just a community manager managing the community. So we launched the program. The developers were hired from Upwork. So everybody just was cool and launched the program on Saturday night around 10 p.m. And at 10:30 when I woke up, the project already crashed. Developers were nowhere to be found. Everybody was disappeared. I was a community guy, so a lot of people were lamenting, and I was there managing everybody for almost 7-8 hours. And boom, when we were trying to rework the project, I was now the one interfacing between the community and developers. So I ended up becoming I was moved to become a functional QA at that point, because when developers were done testing, I would have to test before push to production. So I started doing testing and all. Then now we had a problem. There's no developers to do these things in Web3. Then in Africa's contest, there were little or no developers. Very few guys were doing development work, and I was always shouting to train until 2019 when DEFCON 5 was when I was following up on Twitter, and I saw Joseph Lubin's tweet that we need to 1 million developers. I was like, ooh, nice. I mean, the comments. Africa has the intellect and the population to achieve this. And I went to bed. Somebody reached out from Ethereum, the network, and I was like, oh, this is a good one. Do you have a proposal? I'm Nigerian, we live with proposal in our head. So I came up with a proposal, we started, was online, strictly online, no plan for on-site. Yeah, the first program was cool, we had about 180 persons, but 70% were Web2 guys. We're not developer at all, so they want to get into Web3, but they were not developers, they don't have background of tech and all. So we struggled with the class, we had about 5-7 guys that graduated from that squad. Then we did the second one, which was good, then COVID came. And all the mentors who were there, we had very amazing guys from the first one, Oluchi, Nebeli, Maiwa, Chris, then guys from Consensus were also part of the mentors. But now there's COVID, nobody's ready to do anything, everybody's just trying to mind their business and all. Then one of the guys from Cohort 1 came and we could do something, so we started with Crypto Zombie and Ethernet. So we used that train Cohort 3, I remember. It was 8 weeks at the time. Then the following cohort, because a lot of these guys wanted to learn, but then they were busy in their lives and all, and they hardly come to class, we couldn't finish the program. Sometimes some of them are presenting their their project from inside the commercial bus in Lagos. And if you live in Lagos, you know how crazy that's you are presenting something and you're change me now. And it's I remember there was a popular day that I was the guys from Consensus at the Foundation on the call, and very little background noise. I was like, no, it's time to go on site. Let's experiment. Then we wanted to go to the island because everybody goes stay on the island, right? But I was like, so whatever fund we had came from our friends from the network, my present co-founder, and the one I had, we put it together. So if we put this money in and we don't get another money and we stay on the island, we'll die. Then also, if we get a space for classes and we don't have a residential place, the program will die. Because the plan is to see people leave whatever they do and come lock in here. And so we got this building, the first one, gradually. Then 2023 we started the construction of that new building we went in the first time. We started and see how we can like increase the numbers, because I feel that if you can't increase the numbers, it's going to be limited by. So we have online students, but then the experience is for you to like lock in for 16 weeks. So we want to like increase the number, and fast forward. Now we have 4 facilities now. On the other side, we can now ask 200 developers now. Then they all that we are launching at the end of this month to like increase the numbers, and that's our story.
Like, how does the numbers work out, like, as a business? Like, what's the difference, just so, audience have an idea of scale?
So we started from 15 on site. I think the entire course started with 18, because I remember there were 3 students online then. Now we do 150, 70, 150 for each of the courts now. Last course, we had 150 students. So the vision is actually designed to ensure that students actually can learn by themselves. So we follow a path. Everybody cannot learn at the same pace, but then we have a standard you cannot drop below. If you are below that standard, you just go home and learn by yourself, because we want people to like learn together, work together. And we have a rule: during eviction, no one must be evicted on site. If we ever evict anybody on site, take away lunch for 2 weeks. So the rule is that to ensure that while you compete with yourself, you also collaborate. So the classes is usually between 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. every day, Monday to Saturday, like minimum 5 hours like classes. Then you see them spending nights learning, because nobody must be evicted.
Why does it start at 4 p.m.?
So because we have people who are also like work, who are online,
okay.
Then also we have students in other African countries who should have Nigeria work hour closed by 4, 5. We start by 4 to ensure that every other person online can join the class. So left to us, the on-site guys can start anytime. But because of the online guys, we are like considering the time for them, so that they can start by 4. For East Africans, they close by 5. So that 4 p.m. Nigerian time is 6 p.m. their time, so they are already in, rested, they can join the class. For us, we do not play number games, because I believe in depth. So like I grew up in a story of the Chinese bamboo. I don't know how true that is, because I've not been to China, but then there's a story that says, Chinese bamboo, when they plant them, they spend 5 years growing roots before they actually started growing out. Now, I think they are one of the best bamboos in the world because of that. Like they are flexible enough because they have enough fruit. So what we decided to do is to like take the depth approach. But like we don't do the numbers. If it's 70, if it's 40, we are sure that when they are out, they are working with you. You are sure that they are from Web3Bridge. And like I tell them every time, they are the ambassadors of Web3Bridge, because I can't be everywhere. I don't have the resources to be everywhere. But I believe that anywhere you see one of them, you actually have seen Web3. When you get to my office, there is a picture in my office that tells the story better. Like I see them moving around the world. I see Web3 as a tree that has a root in Africa, where that drops fruits everywhere in the world. So they realize that the fruit that goes everywhere, anywhere they get to, they take root and become Web3Bridge. So now we do less advertisement, because for everybody you see, almost all of them are referred by one alumni or the other because they've passed through. I have families that are like 3 generations now. Like their elder brother was here, the younger one and the younger one. Like yes, because like my life was good here. You go get better with your life. Like someone like, so I'm sending my brother to come and get better. Send my sister to come and get better. Like okay, send them over to us. Then apart from classes, we do a lot of therapy by the side. Yes, actually, I really love therapy by the side. Like you see, we have a clinic, so in case you are sick, you come to the clinic. But then personally, I don't know how to write code. I'm not a developer, so my job is to ensure that when you hit the wall, you have someone to talk to. And I listen to all rubbish, all good things, all troubles. Like I've heard the good, the bad, the ugly, the worst. So like that alone. So like when you then the mentors and the staff are trained to see people who are getting depressed by the stress. It's stressful. Like you have less sleep. You have all of this. Like during the class, the mentors can just like come talk to us and like this person, it seems to be going off. So we invite them to like come have a conversation. Let's talk. Then when the class is becoming too stressful, we figure a way out to like distress the class. We take them out to the beach, do paintballing, we do internal parties to ensure that okay, let's relax the stress. Then we'll go back to it again.
Well, what's been some of the biggest kind of insights and learnings from running Web3Bridge for 5 years?
I believe that opportunities are not evenly distributed, but we can actually create opportunities. Like I've met a number of developers at their worst. For us, one of the challenges we've seen is that everyone in Africa has one major problem. Everyone is struggling, economic-wise and all of those things. And a number of persons lose their confidence because of these things. And I believe that one of the things we are doing is to like help you find yourself. Let you know that it's not impossible. I'm not a developer, right? I've done a lot of petty jobs in my life. I've sold like junks, like I remember I sold provision at some point. I hawked mango at some point. Yeah, actually, I did hawked palm oil at some point. And I feel like if I could get here with Web3, every other person could. And that's why we keep working to make sure that we are making opportunities for everybody. So I've seen the worst of people. I've seen people who were not doing badly when they came. Like I know a number of persons that came here and they resigned from their job. Just like, fuck shit, let's resign and let's see what happens. And they're doing well. I think one of our alumni is doing masters in Harvard presently. So like they're everywhere now. They're starting their own program, they're starting their own stuff. There's going to be challenges, I believe. We started with having funds challenge. But at some point, I decided to take that off. It's not as if we are completely sustainable at this point. I believe that nothing is impossible at this point. And we have gotten to a point where it can't go wrong anymore. It used to be wrong, but it can't go wrong anymore. At least we've sustained to this point and on a good point. And I'm happy that anytime any of them like me, so one of the things I also like this is that every alumni can reach me anytime, whether it's convenient or not. My job is to listen to them because I feel like for every time they are successful, I'm more successful. It's easy to want to come to Web3Bridge, come talk to Ayo because they are the one that carry the success. So like I just like provide support for them, like sir, I just got a new job. Yeah, we celebrate. Like I do celebrate it a lot. Like yeah, we party. I post it about that. Oh, like there was a day one of them got arrested by the police, and I was like, let me talk to the officer. I was like, officer, and I released them. Like so, I just want to be able to like be available for them as best because also there's no way we can document metrics of their success except they open to come talk to us. So like that's why we create a room for them to always be able to come talk to us. Like, oh, I just win this today. Now also, it's easy to want to listen to wins and not listen to losses. So sometimes I have people say, I just like, we have not heard from this person and how are you doing? Because I'm not doing very fine. Things are not going well. Are you sure you're okay? Send me your account number. Okay, take something. Now, it's not always convenient, but then it's part of how communities are built. That's how everyone can like say, oh, your boys are always coming back. I'm like, yeah, I'm always creating a home for them to come back to. Just like you having a parent who always tell you, if things get bad outside, you know you can always come back, right? So that's what we're doing. That's why we call Web3 a family.
No, I know why everyone calls you Daddy Ayo.
Yeah, it's tough actually at first. It makes me look old at first because I'm Gen Z myself.
How old are you?
What?
I'm in my 20s, right? Believe it or not, that's for you to believe or not.
Like it's so hard doing stuff on your own, right? And it's so hard doing something so like tactile, like building a building and like painting walls and talking to alumni. It's like how do you do it? Kind of like who do you lean on for like support? Like everyone leans on you for support when they get arrested and whatnot. Like who do you lean on?
Yeah, I can say I have one of the best teams. Fortunately, unfortunately, a number of them don't want their face in the public. Like I was talking about my co-founder earlier, and he was like, I never heard of him. Like, just don't want to be in the public. Like I have a lot of people behind the scene that actually don't get the job done. Like there was a time I used to like do everything. Like I used to be like everybody, everything, but now I have people who I don't need to actually like move around. I just need to like make a call. Like they are in their own space looking for solutions. In their own space saying, like last year I think I traveled about 14 times. That was the first time I actually did that and I was not worried. The calendar was running on its own, like the operations guys were doing a good job, the facility guys were doing a good job, the media guys, like everybody now does their good. So they're my go-to person when things like gets like stuck and I'm tired. I'm like, okay guys, this is it. I'm bonding to them. Then they're like, oh sir, this. Then also, thankfully, I am grateful to have a very good partner. My wife is like somebody I could like whine. She sometimes like, when we don't talk about anything, there is no job, work. I'm like, sorry, I just need to unburden this burden. I just like, so like, I have a really wonderful team and honestly they've been very helpful. They make the job, so like when I fly, I'm like, oh, I like, no. It's not just about me. There are people behind the scene that actually doing the work. And they're doing amazing, like, they're just like, okay, we're doing this, and I stop worrying about it. Just think of how do we move from A to B to C to D. Like, very amazing, guys.
Just want to confirm, you're not actually in your 20s, right?
Okay, off the record, I'm not. Before now, you read about Web3Bridge. Now, before you get to know these details, like what was that thing that you heard that make you curious about interacting with Web3Bridge?
I think what's important when you enter a new space is it's like in crypto there's a lot of noise. There's a lot of people building, and from the surface everything looks shiny and everything looks great. But I was fortunate enough, like in school, we're fortunate enough that we have many advisors that help us, like guide us and navigate the space. And Web3Bridge, you have built a name that now has punctured outside. It has reached places where not just us, like Chris on the team, had a phenomenal experience, and your students. You don't know that, but I actually interacted with your students. We have given them grants because they do phenomenal work, and obviously Tony. And so I think that what made us reach out to Web3Bridge is people that we trust said, no, this is the community to engage with. The Ayo is, I think it's a great sign of leadership that you're saying that's not you, it's the people. Like when I first got my first management job, I was like, okay, like how am I successful? And my mentor told me, your success is just a reflection of the success of the people who work for you. You're not important anymore. And I think that you reflect that very well. So I think now you're in a phase where your work is speaking for you. And the proof is in the pudding. And that's something that we are experiencing. I mean, today, like I think I said it before, I'm speechless of what you built. And I joke around, but I'm serious. I understand why people call you Daddy Ayo. So I think I see a lot of similarities in the vision that we have at Scroll. And I don't want to talk about that too much, but I think that I told you before, discipline and the program, the infrastructure, we're thinking about mechanisms as well. It's like, how do you provide the infrastructure? There's a lot more than just capital needed. You need a lot more, and you're thinking about everything. Something I like to call connecting the dots. And mentorship comes in many ways. And so I think your work is speaking for you. And I think that's also through authenticity. There's a genuineness, and I can sense that in everything that you're saying, in the way that you're saying, the way you've hosted us. Yesterday was phenomenal. And I think that, I don't know. I don't think I'm more excited than you, but I'm definitely excited to see what Web3Bridge is, what you're gonna build.
Yeah, thank you very much. I believe we are up to something great. We do Web3Bridge appraisal every week. Actually, we've done that for the last 5 years. Every week to be sure that what have we done right, what have we done wrong, and we are honestly telling ourselves the truth. Sometimes it's hard to actually hear the bad things. Like, I used to have a session with the student before they leave the court, like say, tell me what you don't like about Web3Bridge. What has gone wrong? Like, sometimes those words can be hurtful, but then it's actually how you grow. I believe if you keep hearing only the beautiful things, you won't grow. So like, at each point we see failures, we tell ourselves, okay, how can we fix this? Yeah, there's a failure here. We don't want to shy away from it. There's a failure here. From outside it might look like a win, but internally we know it's not up to standard. You have to fix it. And keep doing that. So I think our last word so that we can go the other way.
Yeah, I think the main thing is that ironically enough, I've heard of your work before. Talking to Tony in the car, I've heard from your work before. It's different being here. So I think that anyone that's seeing this, you should be here and experience. It's different. You can hold a fancy presentation at DEF CON. You can do fancy talks online. It's different when you're here.
Yeah.
There's an invitation to bring everybody here. Sandy.
I have a maybe final question for you. Is that I think like looking at the next 3 to 5 years, where do you want Web3Bridge to go? And also for anyone who's watching this, where do you think anyone can be helpful?
Okay, so our next 3 to 5 years, I see us. So I have personally studied, like if I've done at all, I've studied Harvard, studied MIT, studied the YC model and all, and I see what people becoming another. So I started with thinking Harvard, when I started thinking MIT because of the environment and the community. Like I'm happy that the alumni are now coming back to this environment, and I see in a way where we have a complete tech city around here. The Web3 can become like more technical, like a technical university or technical program, that we can actually do technical stuff. Because I feel that blockchain might be the future. What if blockchain is just going to be another HTML JavaScript in a long time? But tech will always remain, right? So like that's where I see like how do we become that part of tech that everyone have to come here, everyone wants to come here. Like everyone is running to go to Harvard, MIT today, not just because of the learning, but because of the community, the network of the alumni and all of those things. And I believe we can create something like that here. Like I was jokingly telling Tony today, and I've told my alumni before, I said, I believe that in another 2 years, in another 1 year, Web3 alumni can raise Web3Bridge as much as $800,000 to $1 million. And at that point, we can actually become that point that supports every other programs. Now imagine we have $1 million in our fund, like what they call this fund, they call it endowment fund. Imagine we have an endowment fund and alumni is building projects. And we are the first point of fund they receive. Now, for everyone coming from Harvard and MIT, they have that Harvard license. It's not just about the fund, it's because of the environment, the network that, like, building alone introduce you to all of these guys. So I'm working to ensure that our alumni become that point of network that everyone can actually rely on. So I'm like, I'm not going to do it because I want to go and become a developer. I'm going for the experience. I'm going for the network. I'm going for this. That's one of the things I expect us to have. And in that 3 years, I jokingly say, I know that one day I'm going to a vocational school because I believe that this experiment, this learned sense can be replicated in other fields within our economy in Africa. Like we need to train apprentices, the carpenters, the bricklayers. I work with them a lot. I see their flaws. Like the engineers I use, the builders I use now, I actually groomed them the first projects we did. Like I brought my friend who were actively in construction to come work with them. It's like for 6 months they're working with them. Now they have imbibed their approach, so you can't go lesser than the standard. It's like I believe I can transfer that culture somewhere. So I believe in another 3-5 years, I see us becoming big. I see a full city come out of Web3Bridge. And everyone that wants to work with Web3Bridge, we are open. One of the things that we have done well is to give value back to whoever we're working with, and we take feedback very seriously. If you're not satisfied, we will not shy away from actually listening to that. Like, if you've ever seen any of our contract, like it's very detailed. Like we tell you we do A, B, C, and when we deliver, we bring what we're supposed to deliver. We side by side what we have delivered. That's how we have always done in the past. So you want to work with us, you want to train some people. Like, I know the guys are going to school open. They're going to which country are they going to again? Malaysia. So I see that in a not long time, what if we assemble everybody in Africa to Web3Bridge? And you're sure they're in good hands. So like, I believe that my cost was the number of say, somebody from school might have to fly down, but then what if we don't have to move down more than one person? And we got a business. So one thing we're trying to also do to get a business analyst internally, because we know that we can't continue to train developers alone, but then not start train developers. And developers can be anything. They can be founders. They can start a school. They can start anything. But then, like I used to say, we are training primary school students. Now, primary school is the basic. Now, those students can be anything they want to. They can go to university. They can go to a college. They can do anything. So, just want to be that. Then we cannot expand that. So thanks for coming around.
Thanks for having us. Good job.
Okay.